Hi, and thank you for checking out our video series training on our strategic initiative here at Smith Street Baptist Church concerning our vision. In this video module, we'll be talking about our future goals, or basically the place we want to go. We began in the first video by explaining the strategy and then talking about the current state of the church. Then we talked about our strategic initiative and our projects, the big bridge that gets us across to our future state. The future state is our goals. It's where we want to go. It's where we believe God is leading us, and we've talked about how we're going to get there. Now let's talk about what it really looks like, because once we've crossed the bridge, you see the sunshine, and it's out here, and this is the future state of where we want to go. And our goal right now is to set it up and be there by December 15th, because we want to be able to be planning pretty quick into December. Really, we'll actually start before then about our strategic plan for the new year, but we want to see if we can meet these goals by the end of the year. If we don't, then these goals will, some of them, transfer into the next year's strategic plan, provided that that's the vision the Lord lays on our hearts. So the future state looks a little bit like this. Goals that are quantitative. We can actually quantify these goals, and we say these are the numbers we want to reach. Now, before we say that, let me be clear. When goal setting, sometimes we are too broad. We say, well, we want to see an increase in attendance, or we want to see an increase in numbers, finances, or we want to see more people saved or baptized. But the problem is, when you don't set a quantitative goal, you have nothing to shoot for, nothing to motivate you and push you forward. So we want to quantify these goals with numbers so that we recognize what we're shooting for. The first goal is that we want to get back to an average. Get back, because remember, the apathetic state of the church, the decline in numbers, those type of things have caused us to drop away from this number. So we want to get back to an average of 125 people in the sanctuary. 125 people really puts about 145 people, or maybe even 150 people on campus. But 125 Sunday morning, 11 a.m. service is really what we use to quantify right now the sanctuary numbers. We do have different numbers on Wednesdays, different numbers on Sundays, on Sunday nights. But our goal right now is to see 125. Now we may split that between Sunday night because it's a contemporary service and Sunday morning, and look for a goal of 125. But we don't want 125 people between the two services that are made up of the same people. For example, if 55 people came in the morning and 55 people came in the evening, that's 110 people, but those are different people. If the same people came, you don't say you had 110 on campus in the sanctuary, you say we had 55. So strategically, or quantifying this strategically, we're going to look for new people that we can count when we add our numbers together. So our goal is to have that 125 on average per week in the sanctuary per Sunday. The second goal that we're looking for to quantify is an average of $3,000 per week in our offerings. Our current budget requires a current income on an average of $3,500 a week. It's really 34 and change is what we do. So we round up 3,500. Well, some weeks we have that, and some weeks we're way below that. And so our hope and prayer is that our future state sees us back at an average of 3,000. Now you might say, well, if we have to have 3,500, that's going to be a different budget. It is. It's going to be a lower budget. So the more, the better. But our goal, our quantifying goal here, is to get an average of $3,000 a week by December 15th. That's going to be hard. We're getting ready to go into the summertime. All the churches, most of them, we didn't last year, but we may this year, and many do experience that summer slump. So we're hopefully, by one of our strategic initiatives, teaching people to save 10 or give 10, save 10, and spend the rest, we'll teach people that even when you don't go to church because you're on vacation, it's important to, I hate to use the word catch it up, but if you don't give while you're gone, catch it up so that you can continue to pour into the ministry financially, because everybody needs a vacation. But the ministry needs financial support. And God will bless the ministry and bless the givers who are faithful to do so. So our hope and prayer is that we can get to a point where we have an average of $3,000. And our faith is that God will get us to that point, even through what many churches know as the summer slump. Our third future state goal is that 50 people will be trained on the tech class to improve communication. I mentioned that in our first module when we talked about, or in our second module rather, when we talked about the strategic initiatives. And then we said we wanted to have 50 people in that. That's 50 people in all of the trainings between now and the end of the year. Not 50 people in every training, but 50 new people in all of the trainings. And so we hope and pray that we will have been able to train. If we can train 50 new people, 50 different individuals on ways to be connected and be communicated with through the technological advances that God has afforded us this generation, then I believe we will see people more involved, more connected to the ministries and working harder for Christ and for the cause of the gospel. So these are our future state by December 15th, which this is being filmed the 1st of June. So it really doesn't give us a whole lot of time, about 6 months, really 5.5 if we cut the deadline at December 15th. So 5.5 months before we hit the end, and we're praying that we're here in the future state. But in our next video, we're going to talk about the things that have to happen, critical success factors that must happen in order for us to reach the future state by December 15th. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you in the next video as we discuss those critical factors. And again, if you have any questions, contact the church. Let us know. We'd love to hear from you and be more than happy to help you understand the vision God has given us at Smith Street Baptist Church. God bless.